What is going down, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zeri from the XMG coming at you today to bring you Lake for Noobs, the second new character we've received in Dragon Champions with this new patch. But before we get into Lake, and you're finding this channel for the first time, a lot of people are trying out Dragon Champions at the moment, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Check out all my videos so you don't miss out on good stuff coming your way. So let's get into Lake for Noobs. I currently have Lake, who is a Panda fighter mage and a leader at level 80 gear 11 on the test account. And we're going to take a look at his stats and see what we got going on. So Lake does magical damage, obviously being a mage, and that comes in at 2830. His critical chance is at 23.9%. His health comes in at 21,517, so about average. Physical armor is at 30.96, so 31%, pretty good. And his magic armor is at 31.32%, again, pretty good. His shield is at 20,725, a little bit below average. His speed is at 157. That is a little bit above average, but his potency comes in at 75%, the highest in the game. And I double checked this with Champion.Info. Picture popping up on the screen now, because I did not want to have a failure mistake with the critical chance like I had last time, so I did double check this, and it is 75%. Insanity. And his tenacity is at 26%. So what did we learn from Lake? We learned that he does magic damage. We learned that his armor is about average, a little bit above. His critical chance is at 23%. His speed is very good at 157%. Yeah, good job. 157. And his potency is beyond phenomenal at 75%. So let's take a look at his move kit. See if this has anything to do with his stats. First ability here is Water Ball, and at level 6 it deals 280% of magical damage to an enemy and has a 70% chance to inflict tenacity decrease for 2 turns. So we learned he needs potency, which he already has a lot of, and Water Ball deals magic damage. Second ability is Refreshing Stream. Deals 200% of magical damage, removes all burning stacks from the enemy, dealing 50% extra damage for each burning stack removed, has a 50% chance to inflict potency decrease for 2 turns. So again, we see potency, and then he has an affinity with burning. So his tenacity decrease is going to come in handy on his basic to make sure people you are pairing him with, mainly Ember if you're running Pandas, can apply that burn. Ability 3 is Water Off a Duck's Back. Lake gains accuracy increase and debuff immunity for 2 turns. He recovers 30% of his health, and if Ember is on the battlefield, both gain damage increase for 2 turns. The accuracy increase, okay. Debuff immunity is extremely solid. One of the best buffs in the game. Lake recovers 30% health, so we know we need to focus on health. That Southwestern Rune primary will be big. Health will be the #1 survivability stat that we will be looking for in secondaries as well. And then Ember, if she's on the battlefield, gains the damage increase for 2 turns. That again is exceptional because, and I stated this when I did like the breakdown of Lake in the patch notes, a damage increase on Ember just puts her through the roof. She can start annihilating people, so that is really, really cool. Good synergy there. His passive ability, Lake doesn't, if he doesn't take damage, he gains haste for 1 turn. He already has a base speed of 157, so putting haste on top of that means he's going to go more often. He can start spreading around that tenacity down. He can start putting a potency decrease, or it just gives him a chance to get off that ability where he can wipe off all the burn on the team. So all in all, a really good passive for his move kit. And then his leadership ability is that all pandas gain 1000 penetration. Each time when an allied panda counterattacks, they recover health by 100% of the damage dealt. So when I was breaking down the patch notes, we have Master Duo as a counter. But then it was brought to my attention from one of the viewers that Rin the Unseen also has counterattack, but I didn't really look over her kit because she's not in the game yet. So really right now we only have Master Duo with counterattack, so his lead is, in my opinion, as of right now, kind of subpar. Patriarchy, honestly, I think is a better leadership for the Pandas. So what did we learn from his move kit, everybody? We learned he needs potency. Even though he has 75%, it's going to be really easy, or it should be, to get this close to 100%. So he's applying that tenacity down so the burns stick. We also learned he needs magical damage, and we want him to go fast. He's at a base speed of 157. He gives himself haste, though, if he doesn't take damage. So you put him, even with a Hilda and a Kin Lee, he can be hidden behind 2 tanks. So the AoE damage is really what could hurt you, but for the most part, he shouldn't be getting hit, so he should be putting that haste up. So there's a couple ways we can ruin this bad boy off of what we've seen. You can go damage with critical chance, so when he does do his wipe, it is more damage. You could do a critical chance critical damage on him. You could go speed with health. You could go damage with health. You could go damage and potency. You could go 2 healths and a potency. You could go speed if you really just want to make him as fast as possible with a critical chance or a potency or a health set. So there's, different options to what you have. And I do want to say this, I was able to complete the runic campaign. So I have regular runes this time around. So I am going to rune him with a damage and potency set, 'cause I really want that potency to get close to 100% so I can put that tenacity down as well as the potency decrease on. And I want him to do a lot of damage. So I'm going to go that route, and I will be right back. We will rune him, and we'll see where we are. Okay, everybody, we are back with a full rune amulet. And what I did, I looked for secondary stats of speed, critical chance, damage, and health, if I could find them. And I sprinkled in some potency to see if we could get him close to the 100%. I've played around with Lake, just so everybody knows, and I did put speed on, and giving up the damage runes, in my opinion, trumps the speed. I felt like I was hitting a lot less, so I prefer this way, but it's completely up to you and your team composition. To me, this is the best way I've found and had the most success with playtesting Lake. So there it is. So let's take a look at the runes themselves and see what we got. With the northern rune, obviously we have the damage primary, speed, critical chance, armor, and damage. Then in the northeastern rune, I went with speed. We have damage, potency, critical chance, and some health. In the southeastern rune, I went with the armor primary, obviously. Damage, health hit twice, which was pretty nice. We got a 1.2% bump to our potency, and then we have just 1 speed to help the cause. In the southern rune, I went with damage. Now, you could put a critical chance here, but I wanted the extra 2.6% damage, and I feel it worked out pretty nice for me, so I went with that. I have health, some potency, hit twice, so we're going to put on another 2% potency, some shield, and some damage. And in the southwestern rune, I put on that health primary, since he does recover his health. Went with potency, shield, damage, and shield. Then in the northwestern rune, I put damage here. Health, speed, armor, and potency. Now I went damage because when we look at his stats, you will see why I went damage. So instead of the potency rune here. So let's take a look at his stats so I can show you what I'm talking about. Alright, looking at his stats, we brought up his magic damage 748, bringing it to 3578. So extremely happy with that. We brought up his critical chance by 3% to 26.91%. Critical chance, definitely, I wish it was higher, so he did crit more often, but the flat out gain in the magic damage is really nice. So I went with that. His health, we brought up 1,053, bringing it to 22,570. We brought up his magic armor and physical armor. His physical armor up about 1.8%, bringing it to 32%, 32.7. Brought up his magic armor 2.3%, bringing it to 33.6%. We brought up his shield 890 to 21,615. So we have his combined health and shield almost at 45,000. But like I stated, you're going to want to have a tank with this guy. You need to have a tank with him so you can get that haste up. We brought up his speed 29, bringing it to 186. And to me, that is very respectable. Very good spot to sit him at, and then with the haste bump, it's even better. We brought up his potency 21.9%, bringing it to 96.9%. Pretty damn close to 100%. Tenacity we left alone, left it right at 26%. So one thing I want to point out is on the runes. I could get rid of the potency set. The potency set is giving us 15% potency. And I could put the potency primary on the northwestern rune. And then I could replace these with critical chance. So I could go damage critical chance. And it ended up bringing my potency down by like 3%. And I noticed a difference. I don't know why. It shouldn't make that much of a difference. But I noticed a huge difference in his ability to land and stick those debuffs. So I just moved it back. I mean, I'm giving up 8% critical chance. So I was still sitting at 30. He really wasn't critting that much more. So I don't know why I'm seeing to make that much of a difference, but it really did. So all in all, that's why I went that, because you might have been asking yourself that question, because I did too, and I went back and did it. After we ruined him, extremely happy with what we got. We got his speed almost to 190. We have his magic damage almost at 3,600, so that is huge. And his potency is damn near close to 100%. Now, if I put on that potency rune, with the current set I have, I'm giving up 2.6% damage. But then my potency is over 100%. And it just seemed like a waste. So I gave up the 3.2% or whatever the hell it is to get the more damage. But you could go over that 100% very easily by putting that potency primary on there. So let's take a look at his moves and talk about the scroll sync into Lake. Now remember, we're taking everything to level 2 because it is just green scrolls, and one tower run can take care of that for you. So we have Water Ball. At level 2, it deals 130% of magic damage with a 30% chance to inflict tenacity decrease. We get more tenacity decrease and damage as we go up. And at level 6, we get up to that 70%. And at level 5, we get increases it to 2 turns. A refreshing stream at level 2, we deal 100% of magic damage. We remove all burning stacks from them, and it deals a 10% extra damage, magic damage for each burning stack removed. And we have a 50% chance to inflict a potency decrease for 2 turns. So we get more magic damage as we go up. At level 5, we get more damage for each stack removed, and at level 6, we get more damage for each stack removed. His third ability, Water Off a Duck's Back. At level 2, we gain an accuracy increase and a debuff immunity for 2 turns, and you recover 10% of your health. At level 5 is where if Ember is on the battlefield as well, she gains the damage increase for 1 turn, and at level 6, it reduces the initial cooldown, and Ember gets it by 2 turns. Swift Water is his passive ability. At level 2, he has a 30% chance to gain haste. And it just goes up, and then we get haste for 1 turn if he doesn't take damage at level 6. Then his leadership ability at level 2, we gain 250 penetration. At level 5 is when you get the counterattack, and you get more penetration and health recovery. Alright, so how are we going to scroll this guy? He has a lot going on. He has a lot of moves. His leadership ability, he has passive, he has 3 abilities. So where are we going to start? So I'm going to come to his basic ability. We're going to start there. So at level 2, we're at 130 with a 30% chance for 1 turn. We're going to take it to level 5. Because then we get the 2 turns of tenacity, and then you have a 1 and 2 shot to put that tenacity decrease on. Then we're going to come to his passive ability. At level 2, we have a 30% chance to gain haste. We want him to gain that haste if he's not taking damage. We're going to take that right to level 6. Then we're going to come to water off a duck's back. That is where you gain the accuracy increase and the debuff immunity for 2 turns. At level 2, we're already getting that. So that's really nice. And we want him to recover that health because he is pretty squishy. But we're going to take that to level 5. That way Ember gets the damage increase for at least 1 turn. Then we are coming to the refreshing stream. And we are going to take that right up to level 6. Because we want to do as much damage as we possibly can. Then we are going to come back to the basic. And we're going to take that to level 6. And then we are going to come back to water off a duck's back and take that to level 6. Then you can take his leadership to level 6. Now, his leadership, in my opinion, might be more prevalent once Rin the Unseen is brought into the game. The other thing that's piqued my interest is running a Panda team with Kyra. And running it with Hilda and Kin Lee. She puts on our Go Dark ability. They essentially get counterattack. So I have that the video of that after, so you can be the judge on that for yourself. But there are some things we can do with that. But leadership, in my opinion, Patriarchy is still better. And we can wait to do his leadership, in my opinion. Leave it right at level 2. And if you really want to, you could take it up to level 5. But level 2 with no blue scroll investment is where I'm going to leave it once I get him unlocked on my main. So all in all, guys, that's what we got. I hope you liked the Lake for Noobs. There's a lot of good theory crafting that can go into Lake. So I hope you all like it. He's a really, really cool character. I really like his design. He brings a lot of theory crafting to the game, and I like that aspect of these kind of games, is theory crafting and putting people together. So with that being said, again, if the first time you're finding me, please click that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you don't miss out. Like the videos, leave me a comment. I will always respond. Thank you all for the overwhelming support. Enjoy the videos that are rolling right now. I love y'all. See you in the next one. I'm out.